Welcome to Power and Glory broadcast, your crossroad. I am John King Hill. I am excited here to connect with you in this moment of intense presence of the living God. I'm covered with the fire here. I'm burning from the head to the toes. Ooh! As I speak with you here, some of you will experience the same thing. But there's something that I want us to carefully look into. If you are someone who move in the deeper realms of glory, by now you would begin to understand some of the phenomena that you interact with in His great presence. I am not talking about His manifested presence. I'm talking about His revealed presence when He appears. Whether He is interacting with you under His majestic glory or He peeled it off to allow you to talk to Him face to face like we are talking here. These are two different scenarios. But I want to talk about some of the phenomena that unfold when His great presence appears, because He embodied the attributes, even those that He has released into His creations. He embodied them. In other words, if you are in His great presence, you may not need the sunlight. You may not need the physical fire. But in that presence, you will begin to feel fire or see enormous fire appearing, blazing, because you are dealing with the realities of the powers of creation. Listen, I want to show you something here. This is why in the spiritual realms, live weapons, I use the word L-I-V-E, live weapons are activated by the power of creation, even as the word of life or word of life is by oral communication or verbal utterances. There are things that are not written, but when the Lord appears to you, He can speak to you with His voice. And He will tell you, do this or do that, like Adam. This is oral communication or verbal utterance, because He was there in person. So instead of writing it as a law, He just speak it. But don't forget that every time He open up His mouth, His voice carry His judgment. His laws are there to warn you. If thou shalt hearken to my commandments and to do them, is to warn you to do it, but His voice carry His judgment. If He's there present, you are going to interact with His rulership, not His leadership. When He begins to deal with you in the area of leadership, He will raise up people to lead you. But if He wants to deal with you from the government aspect, He will raise up rulers. They are there to give you orders. Those ones who stepped into the place of rulership, you see, they dealt with rulers. They dealt with kings, because they understand the language of diplomacy and the languages of authority and the power, force to bring the mandate of God to be fulfilled. And if you don't cooperate with them, they will speak a word and walk away, and you carry the heavy load that comes with it, the penalties. Like the light of life, all material components and objects are no longer part of the mechanisms or mechanical process because life is synergistically empowered both to live and to function. There are dimensions where, if you look very close to the life of Adam, let us make man in our image after our likeness. There are no processes. He didn't say, let's make a baby and then spend years to raise the baby up until the baby grow and mature. No, let's make man. That's the power of creation. Let's take a component and transform the component to something else. That's the power of creation at work. That's beyond the science. That's beyond wonders. That's exploit. If you deal with certain laws, you have to abide by the rules and regulations because there's no other way to manipulate them. But if you begin to deal with the power of creation, where the raw power is there to create within moments, you will violate every single rule as the work of rulers. Their utterances are decrees. Remember that energies are captured and released to power life and functions, or what you have is inanimate or dysfunctional. Everything that has life also has functions. Therefore, the resurrection and the life is tying together the creator and the creation to achieve common purposes according to divine destiny. This is why revelations are articulations of hidden mysteries of life and functions, or you would lack the true experiences of expression of life. You would not know the source of life and the orders of creation. You will lack intelligence, divine intelligence, to capture the messages, the mysteries that heaven is projecting before your eyes. Divine languages take high spiritual intelligence to decode, transcribe, and translate because they are unknown. They are unknown. Languages of expressions, people, are spoken in creative power. In other words, without revelations, you would not know the things that are created, what they are created from, and what they are created for. Look at the human race today. We have to research, we have to experiment to try to find clues of what works and what does not work. And by the time we actually find a little bit, too much casualties has already taken place. If the church walk in this place, the church will perish in the end times. If the gates of hell will not prevail against the church in the end times, it is because that church, it has a distinction. It's called the spiritual church, and I, as the Lord, will build my church. It's not religion. You gotta come out of religion to find Christ. And when you find Christ, you're gonna find the Father. You will be able to interact with the Godhead, and your life will shift. This is my last word. If you look at diversities of tongues, it leaves the DNA behind to allow for interpretation by those who understand the different languages. It's just different languages. Diversities, different, many of them at the same time. Those who speak those languages or understand them, they can know what languages that are being spoken simply by listening or hearing them, even if multiple languages are spoken. at the same time. But watch out for unknown tongue. Unknown tongue. That's a language, but it shows how mysteries are coded or encrypted. And the highest encryption is achieved through the laws of unifications. I'm going to stop right here for a moment. And then I'll come back. My God. I want us to keep going. Deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the realms. We are touching the dimensions of unknown. And you see the speed picking up. I'll be right back.
Encounters are the hallmark of capturing the events of the threshold of glory, but you must know how to occupy realms.
Windows and doors are not the same as gates. This is why the laws of jurisdictions, territories, and domains rule in glory.
Realms and dimensions offer greater transparency and clarity that partial views can never open to your life.
Your prayer life is more important than your religious devotions.
Opportunities are created to salvage wasted or missed benefits.